Welcome to a Community Partners interview, where we explore the organizations, opportunities, and resources that look to make change in our daily lives. I'm your host, Lilly Cereghini, and you're listening to Voices for Ability Radio, all abilities, all the time. Today, I'm joined by Joanne Simpson, the Executive Director for Applewood Center for Adult Learning. The Applewood Center empowers adults with diverse developmental abilities through a dynamic day program designed to foster independence, personal growth, and lifelong learning. Through social, recreational, and academic activities, they cultivate a sense of community and equip individuals aged 21 and over with the skills and confidence to thrive beyond their home environment. Their vision is a world where adults with developmental disabilities are empowered to live with independence, inclusion, and purpose. They envision a supportive community that fosters lifelong learning, meaningful connections, and overall well-being for both participants and their families. Thank you for joining us today, Joanne.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to speaking with you about our program today.
Absolutely. So could you tell us a little bit more about yourself and why you chose to work for Applewood Center?
Sure. So I had some limited opportunities to work with this population. I've been in the not-for-profit sector for decades now. And this opportunity came up, and I wasn't really sure what to expect, and I absolutely love it. I've been here for 13 years now, and I love the center. I love the population that I'm working with, and it's really changed my life. So yeah, I'm really enjoying working here and the people that I'm with.
Excellent. How did the Applewood Center for Adult Learning get its start?
So Applewood started back in 2007. There were a group of parents. Their kids were graduating from secondary school. Many of them went to Applewood Secondary School here in Mississauga. And as you're probably aware, many people in this population, they are at school for 7 years for secondary school. They don't graduate until they're 21 years old. And at that time in 2007, there were very few programs around for adults leaving secondary school. So, a group of parents got together. They applied for a Trillium grant. It started off very small with about 7 participants. And it was in a former middle school in the Applewood neighborhood in Mississauga, down by the QEW and Cawthra Road. So they were there for, I guess, maybe 3 years. And then the school was repurposed. So they were then moved to the Applewood School in Mississauga just for the summer. And then we moved into the a former secondary school here in Mississauga. We leased from the Dufferin Peel Catholic District School Board. We have a great space. We currently have 5 classrooms. We're hoping to add a 6th. We're going to find out this week, actually, probably by the end of today. So I'm looking forward to that. But yeah, it was just parents that, felt that they needed something for their kids, who, young adults. And so they started the program, and it's just kind of grown from there. We're upwards of 65 to 70 participants and great staff. Yeah, so it's been quite a journey.
Feel that growth. Very nice. Absolutely.
Yeah, we're hoping to grow some more, so.
For sure. During my research, I noticed that you have a day program.
Yes.
Can you tell us about the day-to-day activities that happen?
Of course. So basically what we do here at Applewood, we split them into groups kind of based mainly on their level of ability and the amount of support that's required. Some of our participants are quite high needs and require, a fair bit of one-on-one support throughout the day. We don't provide full one-on-one support to any individuals, but throughout the day, everybody does get some one-on-one support. Our ratios are basically anywhere from 1 to 3 to 1 to 5, and it ranges from that high needs group up to a very group where some of them are taking transit on their own to come to the program. They might have jobs or have the goal of getting a job in the future. Very high level academic abilities. Are maybe interested in the social aspect of the program. So it's quite a variety. And what we do is we split them into these. It was 3 groups for many, many years. We've just recently split now into 4 groups. And throughout the day, again, depending on what group they're in, they'll take part in a number of different activities. We rotate between the classrooms, but domestic skills, life skills, advanced life skills for that higher level group, healthy relationships, meditation and mindfulness is part of our daily program. Gardening, dance, drama, independent living is again, that's something new we added this year, and that's focusing more on the possibility of someday living on your own. ESL for people with developmental disabilities. I think we're the only program around that offers that, which is, of course, English as a second language. We have participants from Syria and Egypt where there might be language barriers, so we're trying to help them learn the language. Sign language, fitness, art, academics, which is comprised of language, math, geography, and science. Gardening, we're partnered with the University of Kansas. We have a monarch butterfly way station. It's beautiful. So they're out gardening every day in the nice weather. As far as fitness goes, we're partnered with the Toronto Blue Jays. It's the Blue Jays Care Foundation, Challenger Sports. So they've provided our staff with training, and they provided us with new equipment to have quite an extensive fitness program. We have a full gymnasium here because we are in a former secondary school. So it's really nice. We've got the athletic field, we've got the gymnasium, we have the garden, there's lots of walking trails in the neighborhood. Again, being partnered with the school board has been very beneficial to us. We do pay them rent, but they're very good to us. Let's just leave it at that. They're very generous. So yeah, it's just day to day. Some people come 5 days a week. Some people might come 1 or 2 half days a week. Our passport funding generally will fully cover 2 half days or generously cover 1 full day a week. So
Nice.
yeah, it's a good program. We've won a couple of awards. We're very proud of it. We have really great staff here. We have co-op students that join us from related programs, maybe developmental services, social services, community support workers. So throughout the year, in addition to our staff, we have co-op students from Seneca, Sheridan, Humber, University of Guelph, University of Windsor, York, just all over the place. So yeah, we've got a lot of hands on deck basically to help out with the program. And then we also hire a lot of them for the summer. When we don't have co-ops, we still would like to have those extra hands. So we receive funding through the federal government through the Canada Summer Jobs Program.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like you need all the hands you can get. It's a very expansive program.
It's we're getting there. I mean, it's growing all the time, and we're actually planning on applying for a Trillium grant this year. It's called the Seed. There's a Seed grant and a Grow grant. So with adding this additional classroom, we're hoping that to expand our program even more. There's a lot of need out there. I mean, we can't accept everyone in the program. Again, somebody that requires one-on-one support throughout the entire day, we're unable to accommodate that at this point, but that we are hopeful that maybe in the future that's something we'll be able to do.
Sure. Absolutely. I saw that you have an Applewood calendar. Could you tell us a little bit more about what that means?
Oh, the calendar is just that's for the benefit of the caregivers or the individuals in our program, just so that they know when our closures are, because we are associated with the school board. We do have to close for a period over the winter break. We are open during the summer and March break, but it's just letting them know when the stat holidays are. Easter Monday, we're closed. The civic holiday. So that's basically just for the use of the parents or
Oh, okay. I
caregivers.
see.
Yeah.
Now, okay, I know that it said over the age of 21, but other than that, are there any restrictions for joining the Applewood Center, such
No.
as disability type caregivers, family members only, things of that nature?
I mean, we do have some older people in the program. As I said, the limitations are people that are requiring that one-on-one support consistently. We used to have people come in with their own support workers, but we discontinued that. It was just difficult having people here that were not our own staff. So anybody that requires that full care all day, I mean, there are people in our program that do require, pretty extensive personal care, and our staff takes care of that. And again, anybody that's significantly aggressive or has a tendency to bolt or wander, we can't accept into the program because it's such a large building. And there are a lot of exits. So those are our basic limitations. We just kind of look at each individual person. We have a transition team in place where, you know, if somebody's been at secondary school for 7 years with the same routine, the same faces, the same caregivers, the same, friends, the same routine every day, and then they come here, well, it's can be quite a shock to the system. So we are cognizant of the fact that, some people might show some behaviors or aggression or things that aren't typical for them. And we work on that. We just again work with each family individually, and we put different programs or criteria in place for each individual to try to help them navigate through starting a new program.
Sure. Without using any names, could you
Mhm.
share a success story with me? Like what resources were put into place when someone asked for help?
Sure. I mean, there's been quite a few, but just as an example, we do trial days. So we might at no cost to the families. So we did have. I'm going to give you an example of a family that was in the program and very very high needs. The caregivers actually, walked her into the program, held her each side. They were almost over caring for her. She came into the program, after a while she was walking on her own. She was, displaying a lot of self-harm initially. That stopped. So that was a good success. We've had a lot of success with people maybe coming out of their shell a little bit, very shy, displaying different behaviors, aggression, and so on, where just through the help of our staff, they've been able to curb those behaviors. We have people that have been very shy socially, who've made friends. My personal favorite part of the program is when I see people forming friendships. And we see that a lot where especially with some of the higher level group, then they're texting each other outside of the program. They might have had no friends when they started here or limited friendships, but through the program, they've actually formed a social circle. And to me, that is the best part of the program.
Absolutely. I mean, it's very important to have like social inclusion and,
Absolutely. I mean,
relationship.
to me, we do fitness, we do academics, we do gardening, we do all of these activities. But to me, at the end of the day, it's more about the camaraderie and having friends, and the social aspect is to me the most important part of the program, without a doubt.
For sure. So, this is one of my favorite questions.
Okay.
What is the one thing that you see happening over and over with people with disabilities that shouldn't be? And how do you think we put a stop to it?
Okay, this is one of my favorite questions that you're giving me, because what I'm seeing happening over and over again is, when we're not able to accept people into the program. And I think, this program was started by parents. We're very small. There are not a lot of programs out there. And people get upset that there aren't programs available. And I think that it's the provincial government needs to be lobbied. we've actually formed a loose association with some other day programs recently. This has just been in the past year. So again, we're all very small programs, like each working in our individual bubbles. So we're kind of banding together a little bit to try to address, well, first of all, just to share information and, what works for us, what doesn't. But my hope is that eventually we'll be able to form a lobby group to lobby the provincial government to provide more funding for individuals, within this population and for their caregivers. And I would say that is probably the biggest issue. I mean, if you look at the ombudsman report that came out a few years ago, Nowhere to Turn, it's quite upsetting when you see what some of these families are up against, and there's a lack of support. I mean, the government tries; they give them the passport funding, but for these parents, we have a lot of parents that are now in retirement age. They're burnt out. There's no support for them except for the passport funding. That's it. They might, for some of them, if their son or daughter is very high needs, they might have, support coming into the home. But I just feel like there's just not enough support, government support out there, whether it be through funding or programs for this population.
What's interesting is that people with disabilities, we now comprise over 20% of Canada's population. If we could conglomerate, that's a voting bloc. That's more than a voting bloc. We're huge.
Exactly. And that's what's so I didn't realize it was 20%. That is a voting block. And that's what's always really bothered me. Even our funding um got cut a couple of years ago, and this was through the region, and there was nothing in their funding for adults with developmental disabilities, and we lost our funding, and that was a huge loss for us. I mean, it was a lot of money that we were receiving, and it was just gone. And I did, have to we had no funding for about 3 years there, and then we were recently provided with funding. I applied for funding to get a fundraising manager, to pay for a fundraising manager so we could do without that funding, hopefully. But even, fundraising is very difficult these days. So we were told we received the funding, and then we were told, no, you didn't get the funding. And I guess there was some error that took place, but we did eventually get it. But it's like you have to fight tooth and nail sometimes to get any funding for this population, and it's extremely frustrating. And 20%, and that's what I always feel like. Is it because they feel that, this? I feel like the families, especially, for those of the higher needs individuals that aren't able to fight for themselves, the families are so tired and so burnt out. They just don't have the energy. They're just trying to get through the day. Yeah, if everybody could somehow, you know, form this lobby group, I think that it would make a huge difference. And I know there are a couple of politicians that do focus on this population, but it always seems to be secondary, at most secondary. It's usually much further down the list, and that's very frustrating. Yeah, exactly. But, we keep trying. Go ahead.
Speaking of lobbying and fundraisers, are there any events coming up for the Applewood Center?
No, we used to do, a yearly gala and a golf tournament. It was a lot of work for it ended up being a lot of work for our staff rather than, for volunteers. We even have, some difficulties, gaining volunteers. But now that we have the fundraising manager, because everybody has been stretched so thin. So now that we do have her, she just started in November. She just got us, uh, which is a great thing for us with the OLG, the Rama Gaming. So we do have funds coming in from that, but I'm kind of putting in the ball in her court if she feels that's going to be something that will work. Other than activities just within our program, where we don't have anything scheduled on a large scale right now. But we're hopeful that we will be doing that in the future.
Like there's no additional summer events, summer programming, that kind of thing, just because the weather is good outside.
Well, basically, people that enroll in our program, they enroll on an ongoing basis. They're here for the year. And people can enroll throughout the year. That's fine as well. But no, we don't have an additional summer program, or not at this point or anything like that.
Okay, I see. If someone wanted to become a member with Applewood, what is the process for becoming a member?
So by member, do you mean a participant in the program?
Yes.
Yeah, so basically, usually what I suggest is, people will call me up. I'll give them some information over the phone, or they can go on our website and submit an inquiry email, and I'll send them some basic information about the program. If it sounds like it's something they're interested in, I'll invite them to come in for a tour, which is a pretty in-depth tour. We are hoping to put a virtual tour on our website this year as well. And if they like what they see, they can fill out an application, and we take a look at the application. If it seems like it would be a good fit, they're invited to join the program. They'd have to sign an agreement. And again, we offer trial days. So if some people aren't quite sure, or even if we're not quite sure if it'll be good, because we have to look at the program as a whole, how anyone will impact the entire group, right? So, we do offer trial days at no charge, if people are interested, and that's basically it. It's a fairly quick and easy process. It doesn't take long to get enrolled. I mean, I've had people come in for a tour on a Monday, and they're enrolled for the following Monday.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's fast.
Now, if someone wanted to become a volunteer or an employee with you guys, what's the process for doing that?
That they can go onto our website. We are seeking volunteers right now, actually, to do shifts at the OLG. We only do 2 2-hour shifts a month, and we're also seeking volunteers to help in our butterfly garden. But they can go on our website, and we have volunteers that help within the program as well. So they can just go on our website and again send an inquiry, and we'll get back to them on that.
Nice. If listeners are looking for more information, how can they reach out to you?
They can either call me at 905-826-6260, or again, go on our website and email us through the website. The email address is info@applewoodcenter.com, but you can, just link to that on our website.
Could you give me the name of the website, please?
Yep, it's applewoodcenter.com.
Oh,
Center with an
perfect.
R-E, not E-R.
Right, because Canadian spelling.
Exactly.
Okay, that's perfect. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
So, do you have any questions for us?
No, not really. I'm just, I'm really glad to see that you've been around for quite a while now, and I think it's great that you're doing these podcasts to focus on different programs, because it's hard for people sometimes to find that information. And I would be happy to also put a link to your program on our website if you'd like, to your radio station as well.
Very nice of you. I think we have to stay off of social though because we are considered a news website. So Meta,
Oh, okay.
yeah, the with the Meta ban, we're kind of being shut out a little bit. But there are ways that we have found to get around that, and we have our own website as well.
Yeah, yeah, I can put a link to your website if you'd like. But no, I think it's great what you guys are doing. And really, you're one of the few true advocates for this population, I feel like, in Ontario. So just keep up the good work. I think it's amazing.
It's very nice of you. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
All right. Well, thank you for your time today, Joanne.
And thank you for the opportunity, and allowing me to give some information about our program.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. You have been listening to V4A Radio. I'm your host, Lilly Cereghini. And remember, stick together because we are in this together.